All right, we'll get started. So welcome to the November Virtual User Group meeting. Thanks everyone for joining. And hopefully everyone's having a great week so far. So the agenda for today, we'll go over the questions, updates. We're just going to relay some information in regards to the TransIT maintenance, and we'll review the tip of the month for everybody. So in regards to the questions that came into our support team, we did have one in regards to a file not importing into plans. And we did find when we investigated that when you are importing information that in relation to reference groups, that if you did have a space at the end, so you can see here that there's a yes here. If you have the yes in your reference group as a value without a space, but you're importing it with a space, it'll pop up with an error and it won't import into TransIT. And we also found out that the data inside a text box, so if you have a customized column that has a text box, it can't have characters more than 255. Otherwise, it won't import that line, and you'll pop up with an error message. So the resolution to that is to move some of the data into the comments field or to another field defined as a text area. Does anyone have any questions on that little snippet? It took us a little while to figure that one out, but we got to the end of it at the end of the day. So in regards to updates, we've had a few little minor bug fixes fixed this month, and a couple of big ones. So in regards to just a general bug fix, the search box now retains search results when clicking the back arrow or breadcrumb. And then clicking the enter key, you can now use the enter key when you sign into TransIT. I know, Chelsea, you'll be happy with that one. In regards to org settings, we removed the ability to rename a custom reference list. We added a search box inside the workflows page. And then plans, we fixed the attachments that didn't remain on an activity when you cut and copy. We also added in the search box can now search customized columns. And then we also added in the user multi-select control type. And we'll be able to go over some of those changes in a second. In regards to testing, we fixed the test download report. There was an issue when you downloaded a test round without any test notes associated with it. It actually downloaded with nothing in it. So we fixed that. And then we also fixed the test note notifications when the assigned or updated the test note will now send a notification to the reporter and assigned. And then the issues list, I know a lot of us will be happy with this one. The issue filter list, if you click the back arrow, it now retains your filtered list. So let's go into some of these bug fixes in a little bit more detail. But first, before we do that, we'll do the TransIT maintenance. So as a team, we try and do our maintenance and our downtime outside of your business hours. So we have decided that we'll do our maintenance on a Monday and Thursday night, primarily on a Thursday night around 9 p.m. That will change if we have any clients doing any major testing or test rounds. And then our backup plan will be Monday. Generally speaking, Monday will only be used once a month just to reset our servers to make sure that everything is still working and in fine tune for everyone. So you shouldn't see any downtime for yourself as clients. But if you're doing you're on late around Monday and Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, you'll know why TransIT's down.
I was going to say too, it typically isn't that it'll be down. It's typically when they move in new code, it boots you off. So you go to do something and you get a funny message on your screen. And then if you refresh your screen, it'll just take you to the login screen. Very rarely do we actually have to take the system down.
Correct. Sorry. So we'll go into the bug fixes a little bit more detail. So when you are on any pages within TransIT, you'll see the search box. Now, if you click the back arrow or the breadcrumb, it will now retain all of your search results. So if you do a filtered list or you've typed in some text for a search result, and you click the back arrow breadcrumb, it'll retain those results. It was a little bit all over the place inside TransIT, but now it's consistent, which will be great. In terms of signing in, you weren't able to use the return key on your keyboard or your enter key. You had to always click the sign in blue button there. You can now click enter when you type your username and password, and it will allow you to proceed to the next screen. Moving on to org settings, we've removed the ability to rename your custom reference lists. We just had some trouble when people were renaming their custom reference lists, so we've just removed that feature from our from TransIT at the moment. We do have some other items that we do plan to fix up, especially when you move a plan or you copy a plan from one organization to another, and you want to use those custom reference lists. Workflows has now got a search box, so it didn't have a search box. We are finding that a lot of clients are using workflows. So the content inside workflows is getting to a point where you need to search. So we've added in that search box at the top left. It will also retain your search results and your filter list if you use your back arrow or click the breadcrumb. Inside a plan, when you use the cut or copy functions, and there was an attachment associated with your activity row, for some reason, TransIT would drop off the attachment. If you now cut or copy that row and paste it somewhere inside a plan, it will now retain that attachment. And the only way to remove that attachment is by deleting it. So you click the little attachment icon over here, and then it will pop up with another dialog box, and you can specifically delete that attachment from that row if you no longer need it. Again, the plans search box not only retains your filter when you click your back arrow and breadcrumb, but it now searches your customized columns. So if you do have your typed information in there, it will now search and filter those lists for whatever text you type in there. Inside your plan, if you're using customized columns, so when you click your blue header bar and you click customized columns, we have that control type user multi-select. So it's the same as your multi-reference list, except it's for user specific. So you don't have to use your assigned column anymore. If you wanted to use the multi-select for a user, you can now create your own customized column. It is all the way down the bottom. It's alphabetical, but you can use that and then create your own user multi-select column inside your plan.
So where that's specifically useful is if you've got a cover plan or something and you have a vendor responsibility and a client responsibility, now it allows you to have those in two separate columns and select more than one person in that column.
Does anyone have any questions so far before we keep moving on? Beautiful. In terms of your test download report, so you can see here, there's two ways you can download your test download report: on your test rounds page and then on the test dashboard page on the top right-hand corner. If you didn't have any test notes associated with your test round, when you opened your Excel file, it had no values in there. So it didn't have any tabs, any scripts, or any information. So we've now fixed that. So if you do have multiple scripts that you wanted to download and edit in Excel and then re-import, you can now load them up into your test round and then download them and then remove them from your test round. The test notifications, we were helping a client out a couple of weeks ago and noticed that when you made a change on a test note, you weren't actually notified. So when you actually make a change to a test note now, the assigned and the reporter will now get an email and text message based on your user settings. So if you have both those switched on, you'll now get a notification. If you only have one or the other switched on, you'll get whichever one you have switched on. And finally, the issues page. I know this was a big one for our Make team in terms of the filtered list. Anytime you filtered a list inside of TransIT on your issues page, it didn't retain that filtered list. So if you clicked into an issue to do an update or to see further information, and then you click the back arrow, you had to return and do your own filtering again. If you have filters on or you're typing in the search bar and you click the breadcrumb or the back arrow, it will now retain your list, which will save you a little bit of time on the issues page. Does anyone have any questions on any of the bugs or updates that we've done this month? Fantastic. And then the tip of the month this month is around accessing and importing global module content. So we do have this little global icon on the modules page. If you click the global module icon, it will pull up our global content. You are free to use any of that global content. And the way you import it into your organization is you use your search functions, or you can filter, pick which module you would like, right click it, and then import global module. It will then take you to another page where you can modify the name and all the details. You can click save, and it will be available inside of your organization to use or modify. So we do have a lot of global content available to use, and it might save you some time if you want to review some of that information. The way you can tell if you're on global or not is the project column will say global. The icon at the top right-hand corner will also change to a different icon when you're in global compared to your own client organization. Does anyone have any questions on how to access global content? Great, and just a quick update on TransIT education. There will be 2 to 3 videos going up in the next 3 to 4 days, more specifically for modules. So you'll see them pop up on our education page. I should have them up by Tuesday or Wednesday next week, so you can keep an eye out for that. If you do have any suggestions or any pressing videos that you would like to see, please reach out to support and we'll be able to organize getting those up to date for you guys. Does anyone have any questions, any issues they've had this month that we can review for you? Did you want to add anything, Patty?
Nothing that I can think of.
Great. If there's no questions or comments, we'll leave it there for this month and we'll see you next month.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.